steering fixed. They got Mark Martin back in here, and Mark was going to go in and drive, but Ricky decided he could go ahead and handle it. They were looking for Ken Schrader. They had Jeff Gordon in the pits, then he had to leave, and then Mark Martin came back to the pit area, but they don't need him now.
Okay, good. Thank you. The sixth caution period of the afternoon at Atlanta Motor Speedway because of a blown engine on the number 90 car driven by Bobby Hillen Jr. Dumped down some oil here on the main straightaway, and that brought out the caution flag. And so it's an opportunity for these drivers to come in once again and get some fresh tires and some gasoline on the 2:42 lap mark.
I don't think they'll be able to make it the rest of the way on this fuel, so there'll be at least one more stop. Here comes the leader, Kowicki, down pit road. Here's Elliott.
And Jerry Punch will be calling these pit stops.
And Benny, answering your question first, they will not be able to make it all the way unless Bill Elliott gets extra very good gas mileage. We're talking about 86 laps from here to lap 328 as they make their way down pit road. 7 on the top of your screen, 11 on the bottom. 7 come 11. They're rolling the dice here in Atlanta. Watch the crews go to work as Alan Kowicki's Hooters crew will change 4 tires on the top of your screen. While the Budweiser crew now going to work on Bill Elliott's car on the bottom. These two drivers vying for $1.4 million here in the last 86 laps at Atlanta. Here's car number 7 exiting pit road. 4 tires being changed there. And you see them from turn 1. They all are scampering back on the track as Kowicki beats Elliott back on the racetrack, and they resume positions here under the caution.
Just barely did he beat Bill Elliott out. And Rusty Wallace comes out in 3rd position. We'll take another break while we are under caution from the Hooters 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
The 22 and the 68 pitted there. They were not supposed to. They're supposed to go to the rear of the longest line because they're.
Who was 68 and who?
22 and 68.
Okay.
I tell you what. This thing's been something else, huh?
Man. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yep. Gotcha.
Who putting air in that tire?
Who?
Spencer.
Still under caution. Here are the top 10. Alan Kowicki leads. Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, Ernie Irvin, Terry Labonte. 6 through 10, Davey Allison, Ricky Rudd, Jeff Bodine, Jimmy Spitzer, and Kyle Petty. Beautiful overhead view of Atlanta Motor Speedway as a record crowd has gathered to watch this event. If points were awarded right now, Davey Allison would win the Winston Cup. Kowicki would finish 2nd, then Elliott, Kyle Petty, Harry Gant, and Mark Martin. Davey Allison 6th, Kowicki is the leader, and Elliott is 2nd at this point. Now tonight on ESPN at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Pacific, it's the New York Giants against the Denver Broncos. Don't miss it. NFL action tonight on ESPN, the Giants and the Broncos. We'll have more of our live coverage from Atlanta Motor Speedway after this.
What are they doing a Rudd's car down there.
You're doing something to the window.
Trying to get some air in it.
The calculations I'm getting from here from most of the crews, they can go anywhere from 63 to 66 laps. No one can obviously go 86 laps. So the question mark then comes, they're going to pit around lap 305. What do? Gas only, 2 tires, and that's the big question mark here in the Kulwicki pit and in Elliott's pit, right?
You're doing Gillette first.
Okay, a while ago with the belt, the alternator also is not working, so they're having to change the battery, and they've had problems getting that little side window off of there. So now Ricky's they've got it off. They're gonna send him back out. He'll come back in the next time, and they'll drop that battery in there. They've got that quick change deal.
I almost read that letter. Under our 6th caution of the day at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and our congratulations to Kenny Henderson, 41-year-old from Cleveland, Alabama, who knew that Ernie Irvan was leading at the halfway point and won a beautiful Chevrolet Lumina in the Gillette Halfway Challenge. We congratulate Kenny Henderson. He'll be tooling around the streets of Cleveland, Alabama in a brand new Chevrolet Lumina Z34. Well, there have been pit stops made, but now there is some very interesting strategy regarding what we do from this point forward. Jerry Punch with an explanation.
Bob, you think your calculator is busy? Behind me, Danny Glad and the crew are working to try to get the pit calculations done. They pitted with 86 laps to go. They know they can make it about 64 or 65 laps on fuel. That brings them on pit road on lap 306 to 308 with 20 or 22 laps remaining. But the big question mark then, what do? Gas only, 2 tires, and that's going to be the big gamble that could determine who wins the Winston Cup title.
All those questions and a lot more will be answered here in the next hour or so as we get down to the conclusion of this race. The big question, of course, who is going to win the NASCAR Winston Cup title? And it is still very much undecided at this point.
What Felix was talking to Paul Andrews about is that Kyle's a lap down. That if Allen would let Kyle back in the lead lap, that'll put Davey further back in the field and give Allen actually 5 more points on the position change. So there's some finagling going on down here.
I tell you there are.
My goodness, like Wall Street or something. Man.
Told that they'll get the green flag next time around and will resume the Hooters 500, being led at the moment by Alan Kulwicki. Now, as of a couple of laps ago, and Kulwicki has led both of those, Elliott had led 85 laps, Martin 47, Earnhardt 44, and now Kulwicki has led 41. If those of you who are keeping the bonus point situation, because the leader of the most laps will pick up 5 extra points, and that could be the determining factor.
Well, right now that would tie if Davey Allison is in 6th spot. That would tie Alan Kulwicki and Davey Allison. Allison would still be the champion because he's won more races than Kulwicki, but man, it is so close.
I'm telling you, this is something. It was everything that we had hoped it would be. Two abreast formation being aligned on the backstretch.
Kyle Petty's a lap down.
Still has a fast car. Hasn't been quite fast enough to get back in the lead lap.
There are 9 cars on the lead lap. Kyle is 10th. Look at Elliott. Giving Alan a little encouragement, huh?
He's not going to let Alan get any advantage on him, is he?